because I love it when we spend money. And last year, just in this office, these are houses y'all sold that had our warranty. We spent $337,742 in repairs.
Wow.
That was pretty good. Now, and you can really double that because we don't pay retail. You know, $600,000 in repairs. And like Donnie said, I mean, you can inspect it, which you've got to do, but there's no guarantee that when he leaves, or a week later, that it's not going to break. And that's where the warranty comes into play. And you know what I found as of that $337,000, there were 768 service calls last year in this office. Okay, so when I do 365 days in a year, we had one of our trucks at one of y'all's houses twice a day last year making repairs. That's pretty cool. I thought that was good. So anyway, and it was a $440 average money that we spent. Each call was an average of $440. So reason why I mention that is that I know y'all work so hard. Keller Williams is all about service, and it's hard to make your money. You want to keep it. And I'm amazed at how buyers will call you guys after a closing if the air breaks or the water here expects you to do something. You're like, really? So that's where we come into play. So call us. And I want to mention to you all, I know y'all, service is the most important thing, but American Home Shield can also, y'all will get a $75 credit on your Keller Williams bill for each closing you have with our warranty. I need to get the buyer's email and phone number because we're trying to contact them now and welcome them and create the right expectation, and it's just going a lot better for service. So anyway, y'all are awesome, and thank you, and love to work with you. Thanks.
Thank you, Rhonda.
All right, now for what y'all really been waiting on, a $50 gift card to Home Depot, right? And the lovely soon-to-be married. On the back. Oh, look.
Paula.
Paula. Look at that. Congrats. Nope.
That's it. Okay.
Carol,
Cool.
All right, thank you guys. Look forward to seeing y'all soon.
Hey, real quick, thank you, Donnie. Thank you,
I'll
Rhonda.
split it with you.
Red Day, May 11th. I wanted to give Paula just a minute to address Red Day. I'm sorry about
I'm
that.
trying to eat another piece of pizza. Thanks to everybody that's already said that they're bringing in supplies or dropped off supplies in the front office. Red Day is next Thursday, I believe, so we are collecting items. I sent out a reminder email last night with what we're looking for. So if you can bring in items, that would be great. We have a really great response rate. I think we have over 50 people signed up to be there on Thursday next week. If you haven't signed up yet, please respond on the e-bite or tell me. We really, there's 100 kids, and I'd really love to have a 1-to-1 ratio so that every kid gets individualized attention. If you don't know what I'm talking about, come up and ask me. But you should have hopefully gotten emails and e-bites by now.
Sweet, thank you, Paula. Guys, that's the best thing we do nationwide, actually all over the world. Keller Williams offices are serving their communities and doing things in the marketplace. So very exciting, May 11th. So, where's Chuck? Here. When did y'all start this? 2004?
2006.
2006. Okay, back in 2006, you guys, the Rawls group, Sean and Jerry, were looking for ways to give our agents an advantage in the marketplace. And what they came up with Chuck and Joanne Carr, is to hire these two to basically package data from the MLS and put it in graph format for two reasons. Number one, for you to interpret the market and understand trends, what's happening year over year, quarter over quarter, month over month. And then secondly, for you to be able to go and present to your clients without your opinion getting in the way. Right? So the data's fact. And what happens is you take the data, you go to a client, you just act as a consultant at that point. And you go, listen, you could do this, and the market's telling you if you do that, you're going to lose money. And then the other thing it does is it allows you to see trends month over month so that you know what direction do I want to go in my business based on what's happening in the market. So is short sales coming back? Are foreclosures coming back? Y'all remember, and you've heard the story, Dominic Bamford, I guess it's been probably 6 years ago now, was in a stats presentation, and he decided new construction was a sleeping giant that was going to awaken soon, and he started getting into relationship with builders. And now he takes about 80 listings, a quarter with new build relationships. Isn't that great? So this information is so valuable. My concern is you get in here and you kind of dismiss what you have available to you. You kind of take it for granted. And so today as we go through it, I want you to see it again for the first time and just really look at the information. Look at what we have. Go in and check out the new slides and the new tools that Chuck and Joanne have developed over the last really, probably a year or so. We've been coming out with new stuff. But here it is. Keller Williams focused on helping you, the agent. The goal is to set you apart from the competition. Know your numbers, interpret the market, and present validated pricing strategies. Equip you. Let me show you what you get. You get a quarterly report. Basically what's happening in the Atlanta market. And there's 41 FMLS areas, I believe. And then you get an area report. How many of you use the area reports? It is gold. I would dive into that because if you want to compare East Cobb to Roswell to Sandy Springs to Alpharetta, the area reports allow you to do that. And there's even a interactive slide on Excel where you can look at it on one sheet of paper and go, man, this area is really doing well. So that's cool. Then you get, I'm gonna go through some of this really quick, but you get a ton of seller information. So you actually have a listing presentation already done using the data. What does it cover? Marketing, pricing, and staging. Who's using that? It's phenomenal, phenomenal. Raise your hand if you're using it, seriously. Keep your hand high. Okay, look around the room. Some of you may be using something that you like better. If you're struggling with getting it priced right or getting things sold, I would challenge you to go and investigate this, because I don't think you would have issues like that if you use it. This is my favorite. There's several different listing presentations and options you can choose from. The Michael Lewis presentation is sleek, it's sharp, it looks awesome. So anyway, I'm just making you aware that it's all here. Buyer consultation, same thing. You've got a selling choices brochure that's designed for you to use with for sale by owners. It goes through a series of about 140 questions that the for sale by owner literally realizes after question number 3 that they have no business selling their home on their own. Am I right? It's brilliant. I mean, if you use this with a for sale by owner, you'll get the listing, no question. And then lead gen postcards.
Where do you go to find those?
Great question. I'm going to fast forward to that. It's all available via your office intranet. Now, half of you in the room know where to find it. So I'm not going to spend time talking about that now. We're going to finish about 1 o'clock, and then I'll immediately, if anybody wants to stay, go in and go through some of the tools and details. You're all welcome to stay, but if you need to go at that time after we've gone through the information, that's totally fine. Got it? The market is hot. Do y'all sense it?
Yep.
We're up as an office about 35% year over year. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you're not up, look deeper into what your activities are, and then maybe that'll give you some clues. All right. One more thing before we begin, and by the way, Chuck and Joanne, if y'all just raise your hands so everybody knows where you are. These are the masterminds behind this, so let's thank them. And Barbara Kyle in the back of the room. Barbara, wave your hand. Yes, she's brilliant as well, and was an assistant team leader for the longest time at the Peachtree Road office, and then really helped Chuck and Joanne kind of develop these stats. Because you believed in them so much, right, Barbara? Yeah.
Don't bother us, we're eating.
All right, current market overview. National media coverage. Your clients are listening to CNN. They're hearing what's happening in the national market. Is that relevant to their neighborhood?
Nope.
No. The metro market. This is the Atlanta market, and that's what we're going to cover today. And then the micro market is you doing the CMA and going in and diving deeper into that neighborhood. Scripts. There's really 4 things. These are great scripts. I would internalize these so when you're having conversations, you can sort of sell the value to your clients about why this is so valuable. Price and condition account for 80% of their success. That's essentially the first script. Neither of us will dictate what the market will sell your house for, right? So we need to dig deeper and understand this. Did you know Keller Williams has the exclusive to this data? A lot of people didn't realize that, and that's huge. That's a huge advantage to you as a Keller Williams agent. You need to tell that story to your clients.
Is it not only for the Rose Group?
No, it's Keller Williams.
No?
Most Keller Williams offices have the opportunity. I would say the Rawls Group may be one of the only groups that is utilizing it at the highest level.
Well, 16 offices.
16 in Atlanta out of 37 or something like that. Yeah. And then this takes all the emotion and guesswork out of pricing your own. Again, it puts you and the seller on the same side of the table as you're working through it. So here are the areas that are included. I mentioned there's 41. All of them are shaded in black. Here is, this is one of our favorite slides. And again, it just shows market share of closed transactions for the top 5 Atlanta companies. The script you've heard me use, you know, take a look. If I'm sitting in front of a seller, take a look at this. Now, you'll notice we've been tracking market share since 04 through 2017. Keller Williams is in red. What do you notice?
Going up.
It's going up. Inevitably, 99% of people say you're going up. Dig deeper. Yes, you'll notice that we actually sell 23% of homes, while our number 2 competitor sells 6%. That's a big deal. In fact, Mrs. and Mrs. Seller, you'll notice that 2 through 5, if you add them together, still don't compare. And then my script is, you know, do you know who Matt Ryan is? Everybody know, raise your hand if you know who Matt Ryan is. Okay, keep your hand up if you know who his backup is. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you can hire Matt Ryan as your quarterback, or you can hire his backup. It's your choice, right? And that's ugly. It's a little bit aggressive, probably, but it's true. It's true. I really can't think of who's back out. It was Schaub. Is it Schaub still? Matt, yeah. My son would know. Absolutely. I don't know who said that. My 8-year-old would absolutely know. This is the, we call this the American Idol chart. The idea here is the red bars are active listings. The blue bars at the bottom are listings that sold based on that month and year. The green line is a balanced market. If you have a balanced market, it's 6 months worth of inventory. Now, the absorption line, and by the way, if the absorption line is above the balanced market, what kind of market are you in? Buyers. If the absorption line is below the green line, then you're in a seller's market. And all the absorption line means is that there, in this case, there's 3.4 months of active inventory in the market. So if we didn't take another listing for 3.4 months, we would have no more houses to sell. Does that make sense? And so the point in this, though, is you can see, even though you list your property and it's in a seller's market, doesn't guarantee that you're going to sell. You got to price it right. It's got to be staged right. And Chuck, you add in at any time if you want on some of this. This slide, to me, is one that you should probably have in every presentation. I think it is part of the listing presentation. But it gives a high-level overview of what's happening in today's market. Cumulative sales in the top left-hand corner is up 1.7%. I was talking to Chuck yesterday. It's actually up 5%. There's a lag in some of the reporting numbers through FMLS. And I asked him, because this number seemed extremely low to me, it's 5%, not 1.7. So we'll update that and get it out. Median sales prices, what's that?
MMO will have it. Just came out.
The MMO will have it, yeah.
Monthly.
The median sales price is up 7.5%. What is average? Historically, what's a good average? 4 to 6. Yeah, somewhere around 5%. So just be aware that's a little higher than normal. Median sales price to list price is up 0.5%, and then median days on market is down 12% from 51 from 58 last quarter.
Doesn't it like give you the creeps a little bit that it's 7.5%?
It does, and we'll talk about that again. I mean, you know, guys, I never want to cause panic in you, and I never want you to miss the opportunity to be proactive in your business. You know, historically, markets go up and they come down, they go up and they come down, they go up and they come down. We're at the kind of a 6-year, 7-year point where we've been in a really good market. This is not sustainable, although it's not that far off the pace, right? It's higher than it's been in 2 years. Yeah.
If we're not gonna get any more inventory, then it will still go up.
Yeah, yeah. This is another slide to just show a seller. Here's what's happening in a seller's market. Median sales prices will go up. Sellers generally get more for their asking price. Less needs for price reduction, less time on the market. By the way, one thing to consider as we're going through this, you would never do this entire presentation with a seller. You get that, right? Like we sit in here for 90 minutes and we come through it. This is boring. I mean, by the time you leave here, you guys are going to be mush. But it's important for you to hear the data so you can decide what slides to present, right? This is a really cool slide that just shows peak of the buyer's market in 2009 versus today's market first quarter. Median sales price, to me, this is a great lead generation postcard. I think it actually is in the lead generation postcard.
Yes.
But you know, we talked about in the past sending your clients as a pop buy $100,000 bar. Like remember the candy bar, 100 grand? You know, hey, is your home increased by 100 grand? The market has, and attaching this to it. Call me today to find out what your home is worth. You know. So anyway, that's a great slide. This is a new slide, one that Chuck has kind of come up with, and it shows actives versus sold here in the middle. The big thing is, look at 1 million plus. Buyer's market or seller's market? That's active inventory. Yeah. And then the same here, 700 to 750 to 1 million, 7.6, just slightly in a buyer's market. Everything else is in a seller's market. But if you just looked at the total, you could be deceived. And that breaks out even further by area. This is a great slide. This is real Atlanta numbers. Used to be theory that we would go sellers that price it right in the beginning, get offers in the first 2 to 3 weeks. This is real Atlanta market data. So when you're talking to a seller about price, here's what the data shows in the Atlanta market. Number of sales versus weeks on market. You're going to sell likely in the first 2 weeks, and then after that, it's going to get harder and harder to sell. Sort of like we talked about before, the stale bread at the grocery store. You fill the bread. Eventually, you go, "What's wrong with this bread? Nobody's buying it." You know. Same with the percent of original listing price received by sellers. It goes down over time quickly. And this just sort of breaks it down. I would internalize this slide and just kind of have some talking points around pricing it right in the beginning. There's other slides that are interactive that I like better with this to really justify price based on the market data. And I'll show you those in a second. Price reductions were down. So first quarter, less price reductions based on percentage of transactions. However, in the upper price range, we talk about tale of two markets. Above, now look, 300 to 500, you're seeing more price reductions. Does that mean it's a horrible market in that price segment? No, just something to pay attention to. That's new, right, Chuck?
Yeah, I look at this as like the watch boxes on the weather report when you get a tornado or a thunderstorm warning.
That's right.
That's
a
watch
good
box.
way to look at that. Yeah.
Keep track of what's going on
I like this slide. How many of you have always thought about what do I reduce the price to based on price range or whatever? How do you know? Is it $10,000? Is it 20, 25, depending on what price range? This is the percentages of price reductions based on price range. So if I have $1 million plus property, I know that in 2017 first quarter, the average price reduction was about 10.7%. So you don't have to guess. That good? Price reductions based on effect of sales price to list price. Look at the 300 to 500 range. 300. Let's say you listed a property for 300,000. Okay, you thought it was 300. Seller thought it was 310. I've done the math ahead of time on that. What is 300 times 99.1%? It's 287. What is 310 times 92.4%? 286. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we can risk overpricing by $10,000, and based on the data, it's going to cost you 11. You see that? So I'm just your consultant, but the data's, this is fact, not my opinion. What do you want to do? You know, price reduction effect, same thing on days on market. These are the best slides. I love this. We call it the game board. First box, the real story, total closed listings, 96.5% sales price to list price with 51 days on the market. That box is broken out into two categories. Homes that require price reductions on the left in the red box. If you require a price reduction, you get 91.5% sales price to list price. Takes you 127 days. If you get it right, you get 99.1%, and they sell it in 14 days. Now, let's take it a little further. Let's start with the green box. This is like going to the Braves game, the new batteries. You know, anybody been to the Braves? Is it pretty fun? Great experience? And the Braves win. This is like going and they lose in the pink boxes. This is like standing in the hot dog line for over an hour and paying $12 for a hot dog.
That's good.
Have you done it?
Yes.
So mad. Yeah. But it's, I mean, that's frustrating, right? You still sell, you're still at the Braves game, it's still fun, but you got to stand in line forever. So you can tell your seller that. Now, I love this slide, what Chuck has done. This breaks it down by price range. This breaks it down by price range and area. So I put in area 13. That's where we sell a majority of our listings. And I put the price range from 3 to 5. But look at this, 96.8, 50 days on the market. If you get it right, it's 100% in 8 days. If you get it wrong, it's 91.2 and 134.
Jack, remind them that at the very top of that is where all the other reports would stop, that they would see from First Multiple or other sources. So ours goes deeper because of original list price and all that.
Oh, okay. You're saying because this includes multiple listing periods? Is that what you mean?
Down at the bottom does, but what she's saying is nobody else that we know of at least takes it down to the price reduction multiple listing point stage.
So this includes every listing that's sold, even if it's been listed 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Yeah, this is not previously listed, right? Previously listed, but they didn't do anything to the price. This is not previously listed, and they just stayed on the market and eventually sold for 92%. This is previously listed, right? Area.
So to clarify, in the boxes that were under price reduced, the sales price to list price ratio is sales price to original list price.
Yeah.
Not what they, even if they eventually got 99% of their new price.
Yes, if you
still
go back to
Go
this.
all the way back.
Go back to this.
Okay.
Sales price percent of original. So if I think it's 300 and you think it's 310, and we listed at 310, that 92.4% is 310 times 92.4.
It's very important because of competition in other reports.
Correct. Yeah. That's a great slide.
And can I just say, I know you don't want to, but for those of us that use Max, how do you get the interactive to work? You have to download it, right?
That's right.
Right, because if you try with a Mac to use those numbers, it's not.
What I've been told, I finally got somebody at Microsoft to go through this with me, and they said that if you're on a Mac that has the latest OS and the latest version of Office, it will work.
Yes.
The interactive will work.
Agreed.
If you've got older versions, no.
Just get a Surface.
Can you speak up, please? We can't hear very
Yeah,
well.
we decided everybody should get a Surface.
This is
No.
so many arguments.
Don't back, don't back.
Failed, you need the latest version of PowerPoint, right?
And the operating system.
And the operating system for the Mac. If you're gonna use a Mac with these reports and you want it to be interactive, you need the latest version.
Or print out at the beginning of the quarter, various price points in your area.
Yeah, yeah.
Take it with you.
Or buy a Surface. 3 options. Failed listing percentage, you see it's 31.1%. That's actually a little bit lower than first quarter of last year, I believe.
29 last.
Where is it?
29 was first quarter last year.
Oh, okay, so it's not. It's actually a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Okay, overall higher. Listing percentage failed. You'll notice in the 1.5 million range, it's actually gone up to 76.3% compared to 65.3.
John, I think that because sellers think that they have everything in their bag, then they allow themselves to price it somewhere where it's not really realistic, and then you see that.
Yeah, that's generally what happens, right? Sellers get aggressive. They see the median sales price and the overall market going up. They start pricing out of reason, and then eventually, though, these prices start coming down, which affects prices below them, and you know that's kind of what you just want to be aware of. Resale listing, same thing, increase in 1.5 million, and in the 750 to 1 million category. Putting it all together, this is the slide we call the bubble chart. For every 100 listings, 31 fail, likely due to overpricing. 69 sell, 29 need price reductions, 40 get it right. So 4 out of 10 sellers get the price right. Now, if I were in your shoes, my goal would have every listing that I take, I would want it to be priced right based on my opinion. If I was going to overprice it, that seller would have to be extremely motivated, because I'll know in 14 days that we missed the market, or less, really. I mean, depending on the price range, depending on the area, right? Are y'all doing that?
Yes.
Because what happens is when you go on the next listing appointment, you can tell them, Clark, I think I was running your numbers the other day. Clark's average days on market is like 7. And he's getting 99%. Well, the reason is because Clark understands pricing, and he understands how to utilize these tools, right? And he's in a higher price range. That's kind of a big deal. You've also got this chart in price range and area. So same thing. And again, you would double click on this box here. When you double click on it, it immediately goes to an Excel box. And then you just type in the area, type in the price range, and it'll change the numbers based on the data. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, thank you, Chuck. We talk about this every time. This is what we call price brackets. Guys, I think it's critical. If you go on Realtor.com and I'm a buyer and I'm searching, property online, can I search, let's say, 759 to 783? I can, but I've got to maneuver around the system. What do? They give me a drop-down box that goes 750 to 800, 800 to 850. So what we do sometimes as sellers is we go, no, let's price it. We went on Caravan yesterday, actually, saw 4 homes. All of them were priced at $799, $729, $895, I think. Was it $895 or $899?
$895.
And then 3.9. Well, what happens is a buyer goes online and they're searching in these price brackets. If I was priced at $4 million at the 3.9, I would expose myself to 2 different buyer pools. Does that make sense?
Yep.
If I was priced at just over 4 million, I'd be completely eliminating 3.5 to 4 million. Now, as an agent, is that smart?
No.
Okay, so then don't let me catch your listings priced at soft price points, because I'm telling you, it doesn't give your seller an advantage. Now, if you explain it to them and they disagree with it, that is what it is. But my point is, make sure you're telling them the story. And here are the price points based on property searches: under 100 by 10, then it jumps to 25, then it jumps to 25 up to 250, then it goes 50, and then you see how it moves from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
That slide is in here?
This presentation will be uploaded and it'll be there, but it is on the internet. Just want to type in hard price points.
It's slide 29.
It's on the presentation. It's not on Chuck's. Chuck, you may want to add this. Just food for thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this hands down, this slide right here, hands down, wins to me. This is the best slide in the presentation. And one, by the way, Chuck, I'm not sure if you added it this time. This should be in the listing presentation. It hasn't been in the past.
It is, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Can I say something about it real quick? When you try to put in a big number like 16 something something.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it gives you the pound signs and it will not pull over to increase the column.
See me after class and let's look at it with Chuck and see, so he can know exactly what it's
I did it
doing.
twice in 2 different,
Perfect.
I had to write it below
Perfect.
it.
So this is area 13, and I'm taking a price point. Let's say the seller says, I think the house is worth 480, and you say no, it's worth 450. Our price point, let's go 450. Then it takes the real data and says at 480 you'd likely get 91.3, which means you'd sell for 438, and it'd take you 132 days to sell. If we price it at 450 based on that area and based on that price range, you get 100%.
So the smarts behind it is in that area, right? Is
Yeah.
that the calculation of the
Yeah,
number?
area 13. Area
Yeah.
13. And then you go, it takes 8 days. So you're going to price it $30,000 higher. You want to price it at 480. If we price it at 450, you actually make $11,000 more on the sale.
Plus you're not
Then
carrying.
you don't have carrying costs.
Plus you've got carrying costs, and when we factor those in, you actually stand to make $25,000 higher. Now I can't tell you, and I'm sure most everybody in the room is using this. However, when I meet with somebody that's struggling with pricing, inevitably 9 out of 10 times they haven't used this slide. So I don't know if you know it's there and think because this is a friend or because it's a referral, I don't need to do it. I would do this every time because I would want to give my seller every advantage to win. Does that make sense? Promise me you'll take a look at that and play with it. Take your listings now and look at it. You know, yeah.
John, be sure to tell people, you've got to download this first to make it work. You
Yeah.
realize that? You can't go into the intranet and start plugging these numbers in. It has
You got
to
a
be
Mac?
downloaded to your laptop.
Now you got a Surface.
Well, I'm just saying, it's still going to be downloaded.
You have to download it.
It has to be
on your
downloaded.
computer.
You have to download.
You have to download the PowerPoint,
Right.
not the PDF. Yeah. Tell me again, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Jennifer, this sheet right here, you can go in and implement, like, just handwrite it. Have them use a calculator. Right behind this, on the stats, these are the 2 slides you would use to fill in the data. Does that make sense? So if I go by price range and I want to get seller's desired price, adjusted market price, and it's 1 million plus, here's the data. Yeah.
$20.
Sorry.
And that's Barbara Kyle's favorite way of using it.
Barbara, you actually prefer using this way because the seller gets involved.
I do,
Yeah.
for that very reason, John. Anytime you can get someone involved with something, they understand. If you just tell it to them, they forget. If you show it to them, they may remember, oh, well, yeah, I saw that. We forget it. But when you sit down with them and say, let's work this together, I'm gonna use the figures from your price range, et cetera. We're gonna plug them in. Would you help me? Would you want to calculate or whatever? And suddenly it's like, oh, wow.
this.
Get somebody involved too.
One more word on the hard price points. Guys, I get why you want to price it at $7.99. $7.99 sounds better than $8. You can create the flyer to be whatever you want, but when it goes into the KWLS, it should be hard price point. You can make the flyer $7.99 or whatever when you go in the house. This was interesting. I don't think this has changed much since last quarter, but 26% of the total market sells for 100% or higher. 1 out of 4. So what does that tell us?
They're being priced correctly, and there's more buyers out there buying, a lot of buyers out there paying over the price.
You cannot undersell a home, right? Because if you underprice it, it'll be bid up, because 26% of the market is over 100%. And again, you go back to the slide we showed before, area 13 at 450, 100% of 450. I mean, that's a cumulative area. That's a big area. New versus resale, same thing. You'll notice 21.7% is resale of that 26.2. Days on market, sales price, original list price. When you get it at 100%, this is how long it stays on the market in the red compared to all sales. This is that slide that shows cumulative monthly sales. This one's 1.7%, but it's gone up. We've determined now it's now 5%. So that's going to look a little bit different in the monthly Metro report. By price range, change in number sold. This is the slide that I saw and went, man, something's wrong here. And it's sure enough, it's 5%, not 1.7. But even still at 5%, do you see how it's the lowest it's been in 2 years? Is that lack of inventory? Probably. So are you telling your clients that? I mean, are you telling your database? Are you knocking on doors? When you have a buyer and you can't find a house, are you sending letters? All the things that you should be doing to get listings, right? Y'all remember when Alex Brandahl was here?
Yeah.
And he said, the challenge is people ask you how's the market and your response is great. He said that's the biggest mistake you can make.
Depends if you're a buyer or a seller.
Well, what he said is you want to introduce them to the challenge that you're having in the market. So how's the market? And Vanessa would respond, you know, actually it's really tough out there. Buyers cannot find homes. We need more sellers. We need inventory like crazy. Who do you know that's thinking about buying or selling, right? Instead of, I'm guilty of this too. How's the market? Great, we're up 30%. Well, what you just did is you went, great, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about something else, right? So, yeah. Distress sales, that's the lowest it's been in a long time. Distress, total market 3.9. What's normal? A normal market would be about 10%.
John?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of misleading. It's just because there's a lot of foreclosures that are not.
That are being packaged.
No, not only that. I'm saying they're not registered as foreclosures. It's sold as is, or
yeah.
or whatever. It's
Probably
not.
right.
It doesn't say foreclosure. So I actually see more foreclosures now than I've seen in quite a while.
In a while, you started seeing increase based on as is.
And I start to see short sales as well that I've not seen in a long while. So I don't know. I think it should be a little bit higher than that. It just doesn't categorize it.
There's not a good way to track that. You know.
I know. I just what I see out there.
Supply of listings obviously is still down below the line. How long have we been in a seller's market?
2012.
4 years.
Yeah, so 5 going on 6. Now again, historically markets go up. There's seasonal shifts, and then there's national shifts that happen about every 6 to 8 years. So just be aware. Do y'all know BP Pope? Anybody know BP Pope?
Yep.
Yeah.
She used to be in our office, Marcus. You remember at Remax?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. I was there late one night. And she was there. She was actually shopping online before shopping online was like so in vogue. But she's sitting there, and I'm in there, and I'm doing some research and that sort of thing. And I'm a 28, 29-year-old kid. And she said, "Listen, just be aware. Like, you think it's good now, like just be ready. Like at some point the market's gonna crash and you're gonna wish you had money saved and da-da-da-da-da-da. And you know, I was like, whatever, lady. I'm kicking your butt. You know? Well, sure enough, 3 years later, exactly. And so my message to you is, I don't know when, I don't know if it's going to happen. What I would do if I was you is start preparing like the market's already here, which means your lead gen, your lead follow-up, you're doing all the proactive activities, touching your database, making sure like Donna McClure, you're doing pop buys, your Mets know who you are, like build a bunker around your people. And most everybody in the room is doing it, and I sound like a broken record, and if it never shifts, I may die and go into my grave going, be aware. but I, you know, BP Pope was right. You know, she was right. Yeah. Why? Because she had experienced it. She knew, right? How many of you were in the business in 07? Okay, good. So half the room, but the other half it maybe has never experienced it. That's all. Month supply of listings. I love this slide. Just remember, green is better, yellow's the same, red is worse, but worse doesn't mean bad. It just means it's worse than it was last quarter. So take 300 to 500 in new construction. 5.9 months of inventory in that category. Is that bad? No. It's still a seller's market. And it's red, which leads you to believe it might be bad. Just be aware that it's changing. Same thing on new construction. Now that is bad, 750 to 1 million. 21.9% of inventory, of months of inventory, or sorry, 21% change in inventory. It's 11.5 months. Resale, same thing. 750 to 1 million has gone up to 11.1, and above 1 million is 20 months. Sales versus supply, median sales price. You'll notice when median sales price goes up, supply in months goes down. There's that trend, and it's the case in any market. Supply and demand. Median sales price, this is amazing. It's up year to date. 245,000 compared to last quarter at 228. I mean, again, it's up 7.5%. I yell it, is that sustainable? I don't know. You know, here's the graph. The last time it was this high was quarter one, which if you remember in 15, that was an odd quarter. It was a really bizarre quarter because before that it was kind of steady like this. 7.5, it may not mean anything, just it's like the weather box, right, Chuck? Something to watch. I remember when this slide was so easy to understand. But the cool thing is Heather Cummings actually made the suggestion and Chuck did it immediately. But this is by year. So if you have a client that bought in 14, you can compare 14 to today's market and see where their median sales price is. Great job, Heather. Great job, Chuck. By the way, when you have a suggestion to improve this, Chuck, yeah, I mean, just let him know. Yeah. Let me know, let Chuck know. We'll do it. Original list price percentage received by sellers quarterly. You'll see it's trending up in the first quarter. No surprise based on lack of inventory. Here it is by price range. Notice 500 and up is down until you get to 1 million, which is interesting, and then that trended up a little bit. Overall market is 96.5. Days on market down, no surprise. Days on market in 500 and up is up, so no surprise there either. And then you got a summary chart. We always say, like, make a copy of this, laminate it like the size of a business card, and then these are your talking points. Find 2 or 3 that you feel like could help you generate listing business, and keep it in your wallet. Keep it in your purse. When you go to a party and you go to the bathroom, study it. You know, like just try to find talking points when you're talking to people. How's the market? You know, I think the big one is inventory's down. That's the main thing, and that's the story I would tell. We need more sellers. Keller Williams is in red. You'll notice that we sell almost 30% of our own listings. That's our culture. You know, certainly we just have, there's more of us, there's more people doing business. Broker A, B, C, I'm not sure who all of them are, but the highest one there is 14.7. Actually, I do know Broker A is Remax. Is that right, Chuck? I'm not sure about the rest. Shift considerations. This is the cool slide that Chuck added last quarter, and then there's a new piece to go with this. But there's really 8 things to consider when you're talking about a shift. And here they are. Days on market increase, sales price reductions, sales price and list price decrease, failed listings increase, supply increase, resale versus new, difference in market segments, and then more distressed properties. Now, what does that mean based on the real data? Here it is. Every category is better with the exception of the market segment changes in the 750 and up price point. And again, first quarter, 16 versus 17. So are we shifting? No. I mean, not according to this. And we'd be foolish not to recognize that at some point it's likely to. I put this in there. Yeah, thanks for sending this. Yeah.
Is that in here?
No,
Not in the package yet.
no, I got this morning.
Okay, can you put it in with the
Yes.
other stuff?
Yeah. This is super cool. This is the same information based on price point.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And not incorrect.
Now Chuck's gonna work on for next quarter, I believe.
See, once I give you something, you want more.
I know. He's gonna work on taking this to area.
Yeah, the problem with that, just so you know, is there's 41 areas and 8 or 9 price points.
Yeah.
And how do you show that? And you can't show it in one chart.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to do. What I may start with is like an in-town versus an all-other kind of thing, or,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll have to look at it and see how it works. But what I was trying to find is like the 750 to 999 price point has a clustering of red, which is kind of an indication to me that that may be one area that's more under stress than some of the others. If
Yeah.
you start seeing a grouping like that, it may make a difference. Again, these are all things to watch. Doesn't mean that it's, you know, that it's a dead deal, but.
Could you do interactive?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That may be the.
Chuck, you
the
can
way
do
I-
it if you can't get Barbara to help. Right?
Interactive, that would work.
Yeah. It's this is great info, Chuck. Thanks for coming up with this.
But
So-
can I just ask a question? So I think that a lot of us have seen that, and you see it with the price reductions, you know, your email fills up with it. The next question that your client is gonna have is, why is that? And so, I mean, if we could just have some ideas, I mean, are we
Give me an
talking-
example.
Well, why aren't those selling? Why are those going slower? What is the reason behind that? Is it the jumbo loan? Is it?
I think you have to dig a little bit deeper into area too to understand. I mean, there could be a variety of reasons, but I think when you get into area, you'll know based on inventory.
Okay, Sandy
based-
Springs, 131, 132.
Why? What's your question?
The
Why
question is, why are they so much longer to sell? Why are those?
Higher price point.
It's higher price points for one. The median sales price is what, $895, something like that. Deborah.
And they've added so many more new constructions in those price points, especially in Sandy Springs and Buckhead. So all of a sudden you've got new construction that didn't exist a while back before, competing with the resale market. And a whole lot of them have been added. And a lot of them are not necessarily in FMLS either.
Right, of course, yeah.
John?
Yes.
We're another office check presenting, and if you'll notice, $1 million to $1.5 million doesn't seem to be as much under stress as the 2 bracketing was. I'd like to know what your people think.
Yeah, that seems like an anomaly because when you look at other slides that y'all put together, the million, I think you named it, Chuck, million plus.
Some of them are $1 million plus, yeah.
And so that green bar under $1 million to $1.5 million, I don't understand that
Yeah,
at
well,
all.
yeah.
And most especially when you compare it to 132 and 21
Right.
and
Again, it's tough to say until you break it out into area, because I think area, it's hyper-local. So when you group it in the metro Atlanta market, it's a little bit different, it's harder to decipher.
I think I know an answer to his question though, because I have one at 1.6. If you start looking in comps and stuff, people are getting something for 1.2 that's almost comparable to 1.6. There's maybe some upgrades or little work needs done, so people are looking for that 1.2.
Where is it,
1.3 in Sandy Springs, 131, 132.
Yeah.
Really the inside perimeter.
Yeah.
So I think that's why that looks green and that looks red.
And the 1 million
It's
plus
just what
has
I'm
the
saying.
1.5 million in there, so when you get that, which looks a little worse, so if you get the two combined there, it's probably why the 1 million and above looks different.
Look at this monthly sales history. These are great slides. It's just going to track the market. Look where we've been. So the market shifted in 07, 8, 9, 10. We really didn't start coming out of a good market until January of 2012, and then it's really trended up ever since. This is what it looks like from a monthly perspective on median sales price. Again, 2007, when the market shifted, and then it raced up really at the beginning of 2012. It trended up. I asked Chuck to go back. If you'll notice on the far left, this is 2005. This is when BP Pope was telling me beware. And I was like, what is he talking about? I mean, even 2 years after, I was like, man, that lady's crazy. And then Home Bank went bankrupt, and then the market, I mean, I remember December of 2007, I was #1 in my RE/MAX office, and I sold one condo that month for $121,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then we had 150 of the best agents in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't say that to make you panic. I say that to say, listen, just be prepared, be thinking about it. We've been talking about it for 2 years. There's nothing that should surprise you or scare you. What do? Lead gen, lead follow-up, build a bunker around your database, put systems in place, save money, all those things that you should be doing anyway.
And if you remember the American Idol chart, there were always short bars across the bottom,
Yeah.
meaning there were people buying
Numbers
all
sold,
through that.
that's right.
John,
Yeah.
but the huge difference between what we had then to what we have now, we had listings then. You had a lot of listings. Now you're really struggling to get something.
Gary Keller, the last time I saw him present, he said when he wrote this book, he made a mistake. Because he titled it Shift, and underneath the subtitle says, How Top Real Estate Agents Tackle Tough Times.
Should be always.
And he said if I could rewrite it, it would be How Top Real Estate Agents Act All the Time. All the time.
Yeah.
And all that's in here is 12 tactics on how to attack lead gen, bulletproofing transactions, how to capture people on your web, how to get your message out, what method to use. Full. Now, rhetorical question, don't raise your hand. When's the last time you've read this? Right? And then you go, look, I should start thinking about rereading Shift. And, if the market never shifts, is this bad?
No.
No. All I've done is enhance my business.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's the way I want you all to think. Gary Keller says, never behave like the market you're in. Behave like the market that could be coming. Right? So just always think ahead.
Just
But
think
that
it
last
audible.
market didn't shift, it collapsed.
And it-
It's gonna shift and a
And it may
collapse.
never do that again.
Yeah.
Right?
They're two different things.
That's right.
Hey John, one of the great things in Shift is the open house chart on how to do a level 6 and level 7 open house. And my coach talks about that like almost every week, it seems like.
Page 71.
Yeah. She's always like
It is
level
one of
6
the
open
best
house.
pages in the book.
Yeah.
I put that in my listing presentation
Sweet.
and highlight 7.
Hey, new agents that need to hold open houses, there's top agents in here that need help all the time. Go to page 71 and look at it. I think y'all even do it in Ignite. You even go through that list in Ignite. But great points. Change in median sales price, again, going all the way back to 2006. And then there's your monthly sales. And again, I'm going to send this out so you can kind of look at it. Cumulative sales are up, numbers sold. This is a different way of looking at month supply. I actually like this. Again, the yellow bar is 6 months of inventory. So if it's on the right side of the page, it's a buyer's market based on price range. On the left side is a seller's market. Comparison to last year, what do you notice?
750 to
More in
1
the higher
plus
range.
is going up.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, again, just something to watch. Just something to pay attention to. 500 to 750 is actually trending down. So last year at this time it was up, and we were saying, hey, something to watch. May not be anything, just pay attention to it. Distressed versus non-distressed property. Bottom line, you got to be priced right and in great condition. We always say price war, beauty contest, right? Price war, beauty contest. Based on what? Who's your competition? The other actives, right? The other actives in your neighborhood. Summary page. I want to get into some of the area stats. Luxury first, though. The best way to look at this, Chuck, tell me if you disagree, is quarter versus quarter.
Yes.
Right?
Always.
So first quarter 17 versus first quarter of 16. In the red bar, you've got 1.5 million. In the gray bar, you've got 1 million to 1.5. Here you're looking at just home purchases in those ranges. So, just, yeah, slightly down in both categories based on last year. Luxury home purchases, median days on the market, again, slightly up based on last year.
That 1 to 1.5, I think you're right, Clark. It goes back to that new chart that you have with that one row.
Yeah.
It's consistent throughout.
Luxury home purchases, incidents of price reductions, increased in 1.5 million, decreased in 1 million, quarter over quarter. First quarter last year, first quarter this year. What'd you say, Clark?
Days on market in the previous slide was down in 1.5.
Yep.
But the price reductions are up, which is weird.
Which probably means that agents are getting better at pricing. I mean, you know, it could be that y'all are getting smarter, watching the market, realizing that, hey, we got it wrong, let's Luxury home purchases, sales price to list price.
John, is there any way to change the AC temperature here because we are becoming penguins?
No.
No, please.
I don't, Barry's right next to it. Barry, do you want to turn it up?
I mean, everybody's cold?
All right, let's look at area reports. Guys, this is where it really gets good. It's hyper local, right? If I'm taking a listing in area 13, I need to know what's happening in area 13. Same areas are included. You can look on the left-hand side, there's the areas, and he's kind of got them grouped based on proximity. But you've got area 13, number sold for first quarter was 334. Area 14, 357. Look at 132, 39 homes sold. 131, 73, Dunwoody, 121. Now, how does that compare to last quarter or percent change? And again, some of this data could be affected by the 5% versus 1.7% increase. Is that right?
Say that again.
This is number sold.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Number sold will change, yes. Yeah, when the final numbers are in, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, you can look at area 31 as an example, is up 20%. Area 111 as an example is down 20%. 132 is down. Sandy Springs is down.
Way down.
Yeah, 20%.
So you're saying that that could be different now that we have a different percentage that came out in the
There'll
monthly
be
market?
slight differences. We're talking a difference, there's 10,600 in here, there'll be 10,000, almost 11,000 when it's final. So it's a difference of like 400 across all of the areas. So it's not gonna be a big
It's not
change
gonna be
anywhere.
It would be relative, I guess, by area.
It's gonna be small by area.
Change in number sold percentage based on area, again, 132, down 27.8% total. Now, the overall market, if you're looking at this graph, total at the bottom is up 1.7%. So if you're selling in an area like Sandy Springs, you can go, man, based on the market, we're way down. Why is that? Well, median sales price is like $890. You know, so if it's that high, we know there's not as many buyers in that market, so of course it's down, you know. Or is inventory down? You know, but you can analyze it based on the area. You're shaking your head. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I don't either. I just don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm trying to.
Distress sales based on percentage. Foreclosures, short sales. Median sales price, look at this. 500,000 or more, that's probably no surprise. You've got Buckhead, Sandy Springs, East Cobb is higher, 350 to 500. If you got an out-of-town buyer, this may be a good slide to look at with them and just go, okay, here's your price range. Here's kind of the areas you could consider.
Very good.
Yeah.
Buyer's consultation.
Median sales price in just a different format. Again, the Atlanta market is 245. Area 21 is 852. 132 is 600. So that's changed based on sales, because it was a lot higher than that. It was like 892 or something like that. Change in percentage of median sales price. Here's the slide to look at. Again, 132, down 17.5%. Sandy Springs.
It's a place to be.
Look at Bunnings.
Say it again, Doug.
It's the place to be.
Place to be,
It's
yeah.
the place to live.
Yeah.
Not sell, but live.
Hey, that's a good point. That's a good perspective, right?
If you can find one, get it.
Days on market, looking at 132 again, would be 56. Is that right? You got area 71, 121, 131, 132.
71's taking it.
Yeah.
1/3.
Change in percentage of days on market, sales price, original list price. This will be a great slide to look at when you're negotiating. This would be a great slide if you're representing a buyer to present to the listing agent, you know, or to the seller if you're the listing agent. Just say, hey, look, I just want to show you some numbers. Here's what you might expect. Price reduction, change in incident, percent of sales with multiple listings periods. Months supply, that's interesting, isn't it? 6+ months in area 132, 131, 21, 71,
41.
and 111.
Look at the 0 to 2.5.
Is that Woodstock, 111? 113 is Woodstock. Cherokee.
Yeah, right.
What is 111?
It's probably Kansas.
Kansas.
It's Kansas.
Yeah.
It's
Up there.
It's Alaska, Lake Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of luxury property there?
I was just gonna say,
High price point?
I think
No.
horse farms.
Horse farms.
114 is higher price.
Month supply and listings, different way of looking at it. This is March through March 17th. Failed listing percentages, 132, again, 60%.
Higher price points.
Okay, I love this. These two slides, 3 slides actually. So these are slides that are interactive. So you see the red at the top, area. If you want to compare area, you go on, double click. There's all the information. Out of town buyer, you want to compare areas. You know, if you want to compare areas for sellers that become buyers, great way to compare the areas. Also, when you look at these area reports, Clark and I talked about this morning, what a great way to pick your farm. You know, if I'm going to attack an area and I want lead generation strategies, what a great way to decide. I want to dive into that area based on the fact that they're doing so well. This incorporates 10 areas. A lot of numbers, but you see 13, 14, 21, 22, 23, 131, 132, 51, 52, and 71. And then you can kind of compare all of them for a buyer. This is one area versus the market. So in this case, area 72, price range number 5. You know, you've got first quarter 16 versus 17. The percent changes, and then based on the market, percent changes.
That's good for price reductions too when you're in there to evaluate.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so what do we learn? A couple of big takeaways on this. First of all, the market's great. You know, house on fire, go get listings. Use the data, use the script. Inventory is low. We need more inventory. We have buyers that can't find properties. When you get a listing, price it right and use the data to help you and your seller win. You're on the same side. Here's the data. You're the consultant. You get to make the decision, Mr. Seller. However, the facts say this. And then just walk them through it, right? The other big takeaway is just know markets go up and they come down. I love what you said, Barry. Shifts are different than collapses, right? Yeah. The market shifts about every 7 years. We're kind of at that point. What does that mean? We could already be in the middle of that based on the luxury market, based on what we know. Above 500 is really already shifted. We've been in a shifted market there for 2 years. And you need to start running your business like a business. Get serious. All boats rise in high tide, right? So if you're feeling really good right now because you're a new agent and you're just kind of winging it, just know, think about BP Pope. At some point, let that resonate in your head. She is brilliant, okay? At the time, I didn't think she was brilliant. I just thought she was a mad old lady shopping online. She's brilliant. So just keep that in mind. Behave like you're in a shifted market, and then if it shifts, it doesn't matter. Get your shift book out, read it. That's what top agents do every day, right? It's 12:40, so we're going to finish a little bit early. If you'd like to stay at about 12:50, I'm going to dive into the tools. If you have no interest in diving into the tools, then just be out of here in about 10 minutes so we can dive in with the rest of the folks. All right?
John,
Yeah.
when does Cody Gibson go now?
Guys, I have 2 amazing people coming this month. Aaron Armstrong is coming on May 17th. Aaron's buyer's agent made over $1 million a couple of years ago. He's a stud. He is in Gary's pirate group, which only has 20 people. And he's coming to us to just kind of talk to us about running his business and work-life balance and lead generation.
Instead of team meeting?
Instead of team meeting. Yep.
And Cody? What time?
Cody is on, I'll get you the details on that. But just May 17th, no team meeting, come here. It'll probably be 11:30 to 1:30, something like that. Cody Gibson is coming on May 22nd. Cody, if you don't know, is the leading expansion agent in the company right now. He's in 38 cities. He built a hub city in Portland, Oregon. He's expanding all over the nation. And he is he's in our office with Nanette Briggs. Nanette wasn't here. She went out. But he's got 4 more candidates that are meeting with his team leader on Thursday. So he's building a big team out of the Sandy Springs office. And he wanted to come do a presentation on how to get more listings. I think he's averaging like 10 a month or something like that. He's going to be with us a whole day. So just come and hang out with him. That's on May 22nd.
So it's a whole day with him?
It's like 9:30 to 4.
Wow.
Yeah. Boom. Hey, one more thing about Cody. This is pretty cool. He was an agent. He became a team leader. His office in Anchorage, Alaska dominated. They were awesome. He got out of team leader production, and within 1 year, he built a millionaire real estate agent team in Portland and he never went on an appointment. It's pretty good. Y'all aren't as impressed as I am. All right, y'all are awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah.
Hey man, I like that one of your shirts.
Yeah, man.
I'm just sitting here thinking like, man, I gotta get me one of those. Order it.
I got it.
Need a white banana right now.
I have a white.
Hey man, and I'm glad you did that. Good shirts.
I better. Thanks for coming
And then I've got others that like, yeah, they're all
The detail answers your question.
emergency action that way I came in. It was December, right? Yes, yes, I did. You did great. I'm here, aren't I? I'm here, aren't Yes, I've done very well. Well, you were over 200. You were over 200.